Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Goddamn right. Very nice.
And here we are. Everything is in order. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is Switzerland Play It every day with TAGN, 10 a.m. Eastern. The Angry Game News here on Switzerland Play It on Rumble, of course. I mean, if I'm gonna get banned everywhere else, I don't really care. And everywhere else is Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So I pay attention to those chats. If ever anything is gonna happen there, I will see it. How are you guys doing? It's a slow news day today because we didn't have like big news in the video game industry, the video games realm. We have some, and we're gonna talk about those, but not a lot of too interesting stuff is going on, at least for the last 24 hours. We have, for example, which I'm not gonna talk about it, the case of Disney and Epic Store working together. Supposedly they had a project going on with many billions of US dollars involved in that project. But besides Darth Vader, we got just more recently in Fortnite. Nothing really confirmed. Disney actually like distanced themselves from having any co-op with Epic Store. Other than that, like not really other news that are worth to talk in the first place, but I try to get as many as possible. And we go right into it, and let's see what we have actually. Metroid Prime 4 is still in scheduled to launch within the next 150 days. You might remember in the London Metro there was an ad for a release of a Metroid Prime game, and that was a mistake. Somebody fucked it up, and they already called it out like it's already released. That was not the case, but Nintendo is guaranteeing you it's gonna come out this year still. Don't worry. I'm not a big Metroid Prime fan at all. I bought the first one on the GameCube when it was launched, and didn't enjoy it at all, man. I disliked everything in it actually. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond has had a long journey since it was first announced all the way back in 2017, but the wait is almost over. Nintendo has once again assured Metroid fans that the game will be out this year for Switch 2 and Switch, allaying fears that it might be delayed. Ahead of its appearance at Fan Expo Canada later this month, Canadians. Nintendo says that the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will be playable and will be available later in 2025 alongside other games on Switch 2. This isn't the first time that the public has been able to go hands-on with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Nintendo statements confirms that the game will still launch within the next 5 months. Hi Godzilla. Prime was good, but Super Metroid is my favorite still. Return of Samus is a close second. Never touched a Return of Samus. I also enjoyed the GBA version. GBA version? I thought there was none, but yeah, okay. When it will launch in this period still remains uncertain. Nintendo has been spacing out first-party releases for Switch 2, starting with Mario Kart World as Switch 2 launch game in June, Donkey Kong Bonanza in July, Drag X Drive in August, which nobody really will care for that. But yeah, it's a first-party game. Good play there. I mean, people might buy it just for the fun of it, for the funsies. And Pokemon Legends Z2A is scheduled to arrive in October 15. If the pattern holds up, it's not unlikely that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond could arrive during the lucrative holiday season as a must-have Switch 2 game, considering that this console already has an install base of 6 million users and counting. This will bring a lengthy development cycle to a close for Nintendo following the company's decision to restart development in 2015 after it failed to reach the standards that the company expected of it on the Bandai Namco. The game was re-revealed in 2024, and since then we've seen a trickle of a new gameplay show of action and mouse controls. Yeah, I mean, it's a beloved series. Like I said, I don't enjoy the Prime series by itself, but it's good news. Good news for fans, for sure. This year, on holiday season. Ahoy Haste, ahoy Aiden. How are you guys doing all? Metroid Zero Mission on GBA is a remake of Metroid 1. Much better than original NES version. Yeah, I just saw 2-3 weeks ago, like a Metroid like documentation like collection, and NES version is horrible. I played it as a child, but I think I never finished, of course, because it's a mess. I really enjoyed Metroid Fusion. I need to play Zero Mission. Fusion was good. The end was great. There we have fanboys in the chat. Speaking of the chat, follow the channel, get into the chat, and talk about whatever I'm talking about on my news every day. How about that? And as usual, down in the video description, you have all the links to the news articles, so don't miss those out if you want to dig deeper in those articles. And of course, all my contacts and helpful links for me. I don't know why I took that. I just found it interesting that they are making a movie, a remake of a movie which nobody, I guess, cared, but it was like because of woman. Who knows? Barbie star Margot Robbie is being eyed for the lead role in Tim Burton's remake of the 1950s B-movie sci-fi classic. Margot Robbie is in early talks to star in Tim Burton's remake of the independent 1958 sci-fi classic Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. And I just watched some pictures and, I mean, she looks great. Margot is a really good-looking woman. I enjoy her curves and all that in every movie she is playing it. And yeah, we're gonna see her bigger boobs. How about that? According to Variety, should Robbie decide to sign on, she would co-produce the film under her Lucky Chap production banner. It was announced last year that Burton would direct from a screenplay by Gillian Flynn, who wrote the first draft but has since left the project. Robbie's decision to star reportedly depends on the final version of the script, though the film is currently without a writer. The original black and white film was directed by Nathan H. Urhg, and written by Mark Hanna. Alison Hayes starred as a Nancy Fowler Archer, a wealthy heiress who has a close encounter with an alien one fateful night and becomes a giantess. The cult classic was part of a slew of sci-fi films about giant humans, including The Amazing Colossal Man and War of the Colossal Beast, a remake directed by Christopher Guest and starring Daryl Hannah as Nancy was made for HBO in 1993. I never saw any of those movies, but I'm looking forward just because of her. She's just a good-looking woman. That's all I can say, and maybe we're gonna see like giant Margot Robbie titties. I mean, not naked, of course, not otherwise. That would make money. No, it's gonna make money because Barbie made like 1.5 billion or so in the box office. So she's an attraction. She's an attraction. If she's on the rag, it would be terrifying. Shit, cash me out. Cash me outside. I would like to check out the 1993 version. Not intrigued. I read it, but not intrigued still. I mean, maybe I should check out the actors in that. Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saint Row are at risk amid pressure to remove adult games from Steam and itch retro platform worries. This issue is not done. It's not over. It's going to continue for many more weeks. But in this article, I learned about a different platform. Some of you might want to check it out. Not my tea because I don't have like all the systems anymore at all. So I don't care for those games because they are not attuned to Windows 10. As Steam and itch.io face pressure from payment processors to delist certain types of adult games, smaller platforms are addressing the same concerns. Zoom platform. Just type in Zoom platform and you're going to be redirected to that platform, which hosts a plethora of games, older games, and they are not made for newer platforms. They are just like the original versions and DRM-free, which is cool though. A DRM-free digital game store has issued a statement after receiving word of similar concerns from payment processors, affirming its commitment to prevent such delistings. One of our payment processors made us aware that a fellow member of the industry was concerned about our content, Zoom platform says in a statement. After we heard from the payment processor, we immediately engaged in lengthy discussions with both PayPal and Stripe. We worked with our contacts at the aforementioned payment processors to develop a tripartite solution to ensure the right to free speech and freedom of expression, as well as protect the safety of our valued customers and partners. Zoom platform has added an opt-in option for two-factor authentication and is adding a wallet system that will allow users to add funds to their account and spend them on all our products, presumably preventing any individual transaction from adult title from coming under scrutiny. that's like this passage is most interesting in this whole thing. I never thought really about that at all, but that might be like the best way to circumvent any like pressure. Just make a wallet and you put in money first there, and the payment processor can only claim if they want to intervene in any way or form. Like, yeah, your wallet, we don't like your wallet. Like, it's not illegal, but we don't like your wallet because it could be used for games we don't go along with. Like, yeah, whatever, right? So the wallet itself is a good method probably to circumvent all kinds of yeah, just questionable transaction in the eyes of the payment processors. But I don't think so, because the payment processors told us, at least so far, we don't really care, we don't give a shit. But presumably they gave a shit, that new platform. I still have Windows XP and Windows 7 PCs, so for me it sounds interesting. Yeah, we are talking about really older games like Windows 98 and up to Max kind of Windows XP. Like, look at the platform. It's an interesting selection of games. You have, for example, Blood Rain, like the original Blood Rain for PC. You don't have those on GOG. You have like the remake, remade or remaster on Steam, but not the original one. So interesting thing, I think. I played Doom and Duke Nukem 3D as a kid. Do you feel old, Haste? I keep a couple of old PCs for backwards compatibility. Yeah, the hardware becomes more and more rare, though. I mean, you still find all the parts, but they become more and more expensive for sure. We have no plans to remove any titles and will do absolutely everything in our power to prevent such delistings, the company says. We are fervent supporters of artistic freedom and always will be. The site hosts an eclectic mix of PC games, ranging from old school and edutainment titles to beloved cult classics, retro oddities, and yes, a handful of adult games. I didn't saw anything when I checked just today. I didn't saw really any adult games. Maybe they mean Leisure Suit Larry. I don't fucking know. The company's original executive chairman, Bernie Stoller, had quite a legacy of the video game business, having overseen the North American launches of both the PS1 and Sega Dreamcast. Zoom platform is perhaps the most notable as the one place you can currently buy legal digital copies of the OG Duke Nukem side scrollers. A representative of the platform tells Gaming on Linux. This website is made for snobs like Haste, actually. If you don't know Haste, get into the Rumble chat. You learn him to know there. Gaming on Linux, that in the company's discussions. Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saint Row were described as potentially at risk. I don't know why those, because they have like adult themes, like in the text, in the scripts, in the story, but you don't see really titties. Does Duke Nukem show you any nipples ever? The original ones. I don't know about Saint Row, but I assume they also don't show you any nipples. While much of Duke Nukem was like known for sexualized women, but yeah, whatever. While much of the pushback against these adult game delistings has focused on the idea that no legal and responsibly made title should be censored, many share Zoom platform's concern that non-pornographic games will also soon be in the firing line. They could be, but not because of pressure by the butthole logo people in Australia there, Evereden. Did you write an angry letter to your female friends there? The developers of a viral co-op climbing game Peak say it'd be foolish to assume that any game is safe, and it's not without reason. We're gonna come to that part soon enough. The Gaming on Linux owner is a libtard. Yeah, so many Linux people actually are, because that's just Linux is more free and you have more libtards there for sure. Conservatives all often like kind of rules for some odd reasons, unfortunately. These days, it's not the same as 20, 30, 40 years ago. Left has become right, right has become left, center has become stupider, all that bullshit. Anyhow, people who lie, I think they are lying. With a new record, 240,000 players online, old school RuneScape is roughly 8 times bigger than its sister MMO and would be the 4th biggest game on all of Steam if not for a technicality. Which I think it's just a lie, but I don't know, I can't prove it. It's just weird how they report those numbers here. Weeks after crossing 200,000 concurrent players, old school RuneScape has rocketed right into a new peak with over 240,000 players online, further cementing the MMO's summer explosion. I talked about 2 months ago about the company behind it, which is super gay, and they are helping out LGBTQ communities in particular and making those gay parades in game for some stupid reason, whatever. And I just don't trust them. I just don't trust them at all. Multiple OSRS players clocked to the milestone on Reddit with a random Sunday, seeing the game soar to at least 240,851 concurrent, according to the largest figure I've seen in screenshots. On Reddit, screenshots on Reddit. So why can't you report those officially on your website and have some kind of proof? Because who can verify those numbers in the first place? SteamDB has at least kind of more credibility, I would say. For comparison, mainline RuneScape has about 30,000 concurrent players whenever I checked it. To put that into perspective, the top 3 most played games on Steam at the time of writing are, according to Steam charts and SteamDB, Counter-Strike 2 at 1.1 million concurrent players, Dota 2 at around 600,000 players, and PUBG at approximately 420,000 players. These players' numbers fluctuate heavily and differ slightly between data trackers. But these 3 games are most often the ones topping the Steam charts. Yeah, how can I verify that? I just find it odd that we have to go to Reddit to verify in that sense, like patting each other's on the back. Yeah, our biggest LGBTQ supportive game MMO out there has those numbers. Just odd to me. Just odd to me. But I found it interesting to report on it that they think it's a big deal. I don't think so, because who is playing RuneScape? Really? I think I never installed it actually myself. Not even like the original ones, where they were not gay yet. I like the idea of Linux, just zero experience using it. Then you should start. You should start, Godzilla. Especially when you have older systems, to find out like the difference, old Linux, newer Linux. You might like it, who knows? Linux is cool, but it's become more and more like Windows, which is sad because I am a PC guy, lol. I prefer how Unix keep a thing simple applications that have a focus, not the code bloat that is Linux now. Well, if you want to address more systems, if you want to have your OS installed in more systems, you have to have more drivers, more compatibility with all those different systems. You might have a different hard drive, you might have a different mainboard, different chipset, different CPU, of course, and not only the brand, because even in the brand you have like a million fucking models, right? And those systems need to support all those parts, all those components in PCs. So, of course, the more famous you get, the more people install those systems, the more support you have to give to those systems, which are generally vastly different, actually, hardware-wise. And yeah, it's gonna blow it up. That's just how it is. I wish it was different, but then that would mean like everybody has the same systems and bigger OS with less bloat. That's PC life, man. Haste. You know that. You know that. What you might not know is that Star Wars is going to be re-released in theaters, the original one. But just chill. You have like 1.5 year times to hang around and wait for it for the new re-release. We don't know which version though. Disney won't say which Star Wars cut it's re-releasing in theaters. To celebrate the 50th anniversary of 1977 Star Wars, or A New Hope, as it was retitled 4 years after the premiere, Lucasfilm really released George Lucas' space opera that started all in theaters in April 2027. But in its announcement on August 1st, Lucasfilm played coy which version of Star Wars would actually be hitting theaters. Disney isn't ready to say, but did actually return to our emails with a comment. Over the years, Lucas has become infamous for going back and tinkering with the edits and special effects throughout the original Star Wars trilogy. Many people are very unhappy about those edits, and I get it why. Is it movie destroying though? That's a different question. I think many people are making a little bit too much fuss about that stuff. But on the other hand, George Lucas and Disney just should release like originals, as original as possible, in the highest quality as possible. And people are going to pay for it and buy that stuff. I don't know what's the issue is. I know you're gonna get like new technologies that you didn't have back then while filming and producing in those movies, right? And you might think like my own creation needs this new technology to be in my movies. I get that too, you know. But why not just release it in the original form from the get-go, always, on any new media? DVD comes up, make the release like the original on the DVD available. Even if it's for special edition. And there are special editions, as far as I know, the 2003 special editions versions, they have the original movies and all that, right? So why don't give your fans what they want in general? That's my point. For the 20th anniversary, Lucasfilm primed the pump for the release of Star Wars The Phantom Menace with a monthly theatrical re-release of the Star Wars Special Edition trilogy, which saw robust changes and even additional scenes rendered with the then state-of-the-art computer graphics. In Lucas' mind, Star Wars 1977 needed a Jabba the Hutt scene. Which that scene, I agree with old school fans. Nobody needed that. It looks horrible. The CGI in that looks horrible in my opinion. But yeah. Even if longtime fans thought his movie was fine just the way it is, the filmmaker continued the fuzz with Star Wars. With Star Wars for the next 3 decades, which is how we wound up the Monkley cut on Disney Plus. McClunkey cut, sorry. I don't know which cut that is, but I don't care. If you want like high definition originals, like originals without any addition, without any rendered scene in it, CGI scenes, I just can say look up Project 77, something like that. 4K P 77, something like that, or just 4K 77, maybe. I don't know, mate. Just saying. So Star Wars: A New Hope returns to theaters for the 50th anniversary, as Lucasfilm put it on the official StarWars.com blog. Could mean a lot of things, including a stripped down back to basics version that recently re-entered circulation after collecting dust in the archives. And there's this little clip here. They show you they found, all of a sudden, they found like this original cut, the oldest cut in that sense in the UK, in very, very good shape. Ahoy, ouch, my junk. Liked the special editions. Same, I grew up with the THX special editions. I like the original trilogy without the new CGI scenes. Some CGI scenes are fine, like they're changing the flying vehicles and all that, or adding in some creatures like on the ground. Little stuff like that is fine, but as soon as you get like Jabba the Hutt, the CGI Jabba the Hutt, which looks horrible, yeah, I'm out at that point. In June, Kathleen Kennedy teamed with the British Film Institute to screen a film print that, to her understanding, was the earliest cut of Star Wars that existed, untouched by its creators' impulses to tinker and update. The BFI even went an extra step in preparing the film reels for projection, finding an old, complete version of the original crawl before A New Hope was added to the title, to run in front of the film. Introducing the film, even Kennedy was at loss for how monumentous the occasion felt as a fan of the series. Is she a fan? Is she a good fan, though? She is destroying a lot for fans and just pumping out garbage, slop, bullshit for the supposed fans. I wonder if we're gonna get the Acolyte Season 2 ever. I haven't seen the Season 1, but whatever. Even when I came into the company, there was endless conversation about where everything was and what was in fact the first print, she said before the screening. And it's quite remarkable. What you're going to see is in fact the first print, and I'm not even sure there's another quite like it. It's that rare. After the BFI screening, there was obvious wonder if Lucasfilm would strike prints of this cut of the film and reissue a sanctioned, specialized edition for release. Nearly a month and a half later, the company announced re-release plans in 2026. 7 makes you think. And they contacted Star Wars, blah, 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 and got no confirmation of anything yet. I've seen both editions, saw the OG Empire Strikes Back in the theaters. Yep, I'm that old. Ouch, my junk has for so many decades pain in his crotch. Poor guy. That's how old he is. 50 plus decades at least. All that pain. Speaking of Disney, they tried, but they are not happy yet for themselves. Disney wanted to create a generative AI character for Tron Ares and explored putting the Rock's head on a different body using deepfake tech for the live-action Moana remake. I didn't know that was happening in the first place, but now we know all. Nobody asked for it, but they're gonna have maybe success, maybe not. I hope not. I hope they're gonna fucking fail. I don't like Disney these days. I just don't. Disney has apparently been flirting with using generative AI in several of its films, though they've been hitting roadblocks and trying to implement it. A new report from the Wall Street Journal via Gizmodo states that Disney was experimenting with implementing generative AI for 2 of its upcoming films, its live-action remake of Moana and the upcoming sci-fi sequel Tron Ares. I get it with Tron Ares, it's all about an AI in general, right? But why the other stuff? Why you have enough CGI people? Just give them the work. But I know where the road leads. You're gonna have some layoffs in the near future, for sure. In the case of Moana, Disney was reportedly toying with partnering with AI company Metaphysics to create a deepfake of the face of the film star Dwayne Johnson in order to minimize his required time on the set by having Johnson's cousin and longtime stunt double Tanoi Reed fill in, with Johnson's face later being grafted onto his body via AI. Why they don't do that, I can only assume. I think the AI is not there yet for like quality, high resolution stuff. You can scan the face, of course, without any issues. Make like a deep, high resolution scan, like 30K resolution of the face with all the hair, you know, and all that, right? You couldn't do that for sure. But I think that like putting it on different faces, that's what's the problem here for the moment. The plan fell apart when Disney and Metaphysics negotiations reached a stalemate, with Disney apparently professing concerns of information security and copyright struggles over who might maintain ownership of the AI generation content. Reed will not appear in the film, with Johnson filming the planned AI scenes himself instead. Oh wow, he's gonna work for his money. What a surprise. Super surprise. And yes, that's a question which comes up all the time. Who has copyright over AI stuff? But that this is a concern for Disney, I doubt highly. They're just gonna make contracts with any companies like, whatever you create for this project, it's ours. End of story. Very, very simple. If you use AI technology and you're involved in our project, it's gonna be ours. I'm pretty sure their lawyers looked at all that stuff already, multiple times over and over. When it comes to Tron Ares, the plan was reportedly quite different, as the studio was apparently considering adding an entire AI-generated character into the film, named Bit. Tron Ares centers on the idea of sentient AI beings entering the real world as soldiers in human-looking physical bodies. Disney reportedly canned this idea as well, thanks to both the ongoing copyright concerns around the technology and the potential for negative publicity around the use of AI in the film. Again, I think that's just a scapegoat argument for them. They are not going to be concerned about copyright stuff. They're just going to make sure with contracts, whoever creates for them with AI, going to be theirs. They might even like buy the whole technology of the other company just to make absolute sure it's theirs. Are you a fan of Silent Hill? Anybody? Has anybody like played multiple titles of the series? I played 1 and 2, and after that, I didn't really care anymore. I don't even know 3 at all. I think I have never witnessed any gameplay of 3. I tried The Room. It was horrible in my opinion. Didn't enjoy it at all, and after that I just lost any interest. But this newer game seems to be very well received, but I don't think it's Silent Hill. I'm going to come to that in a bit. I'm super excited for the new Silent Hill, Hill F. You're such a disappointment sometimes, Haste. We didn't want to recreate Silent Hill 2 over and over again. Silent Hill F focuses on action to appeal to new players. In an interview with GameSpark, translated by Automaton, Silent Hill series producer Motoi Okamoto and Silent Hill F director Ai Yang were asked why the game has more action than previous entries in the series. Yang explained that the shift to action was a deliberate attempt to avoid repeating the typical Silent Hill formula and try something different instead. We didn't want to end up recreating Silent Hill 2 over and over again, and we were aware that there was no reason to keep making clones of it, he said. So in order to avoid repeating what previous major titles did, we decided to make the action stand out more. And supposedly it plays like a Souls-like game, like dodging, like having kind of a stamina part into the gameplay. And if it's like Souls-like, you're gonna have reappearing enemies at the same spots over and over again. So I am not sure about that decision, to be honest. Okamoto added that by making a more action-focused game, Konami may be able to encourage those who have never played a Silent Hill game before, especially newer generations who didn't grow up with the series, to try it out. The Silent Hill series isn't considered a game that has entertaining action per se, but as we are opening our doors to new players, we began to wonder what it would be like if we added more of those elements into the game, he explained. Challenging action games are gaining popularity among younger players nowadays, so I believe that if we implemented such elements into the game, it would resonate well even with people who are new to the series. Whereas most of the Silent Hill games are set in the titular US town, Silent Hill F instead takes the story to 1960s Japan, where it follows high school student Shimizu Hinako, who explores her hometown as it becomes engulfed in fog and shifts nightmarishly. I don't like some decisions made here with the action stuff, because what made Silent Hill was like this, beside the fog itself, this slow pace, the slow monsters, the anticipation of is gonna something happen anytime soon, will I die, and all those puzzles, and it was all the time slow, right? So I think that was made Silent Hill in the first place, and surrounding the name Silent Hill itself, it's the place Silent Hill. Now it's becoming just a kind of a theme. So is this village of hers like elevated? Is it on a hill based? And what does the F stand for? And the explanation for the F I didn't like. So far we got only like, yeah, everybody can imagine for themselves what this F means, blah blah blah. Just trying to be mysterious. The makers try to be mysterious. I find it a very stupid approach. Instead of just telling people, well, you play it through and you might find it out. I'm not going to tell more. It has a meaning for sure, but I'm not going to tell you the meaning, of course. You need to play the game pretty much, but don't try to fool people like, yeah, maybe you can have this and that meaning for the F, blah blah blah. Fuck off. That I'm out already at that point. And now that I learned it's way more action based, and probably, in my opinion, lost the charm for Silent Hill, what made Silent Hill. The puzzles, the slow pacing puzzles, going from places to places very slowly, running from monsters, having like uneasy music in the background and all that. I mean, you still can recreate all those feelings too in newer games, but just that it's way more action based, I am very skeptical. I'm skeptical. But if people like the game, go for it, play it as much as you want, of course. Good games are good games. No matter if I like the path they are taking as a franchise, as a series. Well, what time is it? We are good in time. Because we're going to talk about this a little bit. I was thinking the whole time, from the very first moment, fans are going to pay without a doubt even $90 for GTA6. But supposedly an analyst says he is expecting a $100 price point for the base version, which is crazy, but it might pay out for Rockstar. just a second. Analyst says I expect a $100 price point for GTA 6 estimates Rockstar's development cost it's over 1.5 billion and predicts it will earn 10 billion US dollars lifetime and another 500 million US dollars annually from GTA Online. New comments from market analysts support earlier theories that GTA6 could introduce $100 pricing for premium games. And it's not like the premium version, it's just the game as in general it's called premium. I don't know why they do this wording now, but yeah, they go for it. The more money you invest, I guess, the more premium it becomes magically all of a sudden. Was Skull and Bones 800 million production premium too by Ubisoft? Sure. And unsurprisingly predict that developer Rockstar Games stands to make a big bundle of money off the most anticipated game of all time. In broader piece about GTA's intersection with the UK's new internet guidelines and restrictions, The Telegraph reports new comments from Lewis Woolworth of analytics firm Ampere Analysis and Michael Pachter, or Pachter is a German name, of adversary and brokerage firm Wedbush Securities. Wooldridge broadly reiterates that GTA 6 is probably the most anticipated game of all time, which, if anything, is a conservative description. We can expect it to be one of the most expensive games ever made, Woolridge adds. Pachter puts more numbers to the GTA 6 estimates. I expect a $100 price point for the game. The game will be immensely profitable. It will likely generate 10 billion US dollars lifetime and another 500 million annually for GTA Online. Additionally, Pachter estimates that GTA 6 development costs will exceed 1.5 billion US dollars. Similarly, with a marketing cost factored in as well. GTA 6 development costs have routinely been speculated to fall between 1 and 2 billion US dollars, but there are no concrete numbers attached to the range beyond the estimated size of a Rockstar team and its production timeline. If Rockstar ever gonna confirm the numbers, we're gonna see if I just assume kind of, when they're gonna have like big success at launch. If they make maybe in the first week or something like that 1 billion already, they might hint of the production cost. Like if it succeeds or over exceeds the expectation in 1 billion sales, they might tell you like, yeah, the production cost is already met in that sense. Earlier this year, remarks on GTA 6 potentially cost $100 came from investment and strategy firm Epilion, specifically CEO Matthew Ball. Even as a left field hypothetical, the idea was enough to ignite fierce debate among gamers, devs, and other analysts, with plenty of analysts notably doubting the idea. On Euro. Since Ball's remarks, we have seen Microsoft back down from $80 pricing on its 2025 holiday lineup. Meanwhile, publisher EA said it has no plans to jump to $80 pricing. And then it goes on with a little bit more information about the online part and that it's going to make money because of the online part annually, big numbers and all that. I don't know what you think, guys, but I thought it's gonna have at least $90 price point, especially after the other companies backed down a little bit, or back a little bit. Microsoft not selling for the moment $80 games in general. EA confirming for this year, for this financial year, you're not gonna have any $80 games. AAA games from us. It's gonna change next year, and GTA is gonna be released next year, and they have to have a higher price in general, of course. So why shouldn't they take even $100 from players? It might be dependent though if other companies go like for the $80 price point next year, from next year on, that Rockstar will just be like, yeah, $100 is fine. Everybody else is taking $80. We are good with $100. And I just assume it's gonna sell like hot cake, man. Unfortunately, because I don't like GTA 5 that much. I played it a little bit, mainly online. Not my type of games these days anymore, really. But yeah, it's only me. I still need to catch up with GTA 4 and 5. I'm not going to pay for 6. I haven't paid for 5 either. I got it on Epic Store, which closed me out, by the way. Little side note here. Little intermission from the news. We have 2 more little articles here. I can't connect to Epic Store anymore. I try to log in. The system has me in, but I don't get like the codes via email anymore. They're just not coming in my inbox anymore. Since about now 9 weeks or so, closing to 10 weeks, I'm just not getting any emails anymore from Epic. I can't recover my password. I can't reset it, whatever, because that requires to send a code, and I'm not getting any codes via email. So I'm locked out. I would be super pissed at Epic Store if I ever bought a game there, and I did once for $8 or so. So if I have had a library with paid games, I would be super pissed because I can't contact them. Go look it up. Go find an email that works. Find me an email for support that works. You know, like a contact address. Just find me one. Haven't found any. It's crazy that such a big company with a store that sells games, that has a support website, but you just can't connect them. They have no form either in that sense. It's wild. And I find it interesting that nobody has pointed that out ever, really, on the bigger platforms, on the bigger like podium there. Kind of like Epic Store is just fucking up the support stuff. It's super wild to me. It's crazy and wild. I got to jump. Bye, haste. Wish they would release GTA 4 for PS5. Couldn't you play just the PS? Does PS4 not have GTA 4? Ouch. Should gamers get paid more than bankers? In what sense, Neuro? Oi, you will eat the bugs. I don't mind Epic Store games, they give out free stuff all the time. It doesn't matter. If they are dicks and you can't contact, you're not listening. If you can't contact them by any means, just by a simple email. Phone numbers. How about phone numbers? Give out phone numbers to people for support. If you don't get any emails anymore by them, you're just fucked, man. I'm telling you. I don't mind Epic Store game. All I've ever seen is the PS3 version of GTA 4. We have a few minutes. Grand Theft Auto 4. There's no PS4 version. I mean, it's an older game. Maybe it was never released. No, never released on PS4, which is weird. You might be able to play it via the subscription, right? Ouch, my junk. But yeah, I understand why you want a release there for PS5. I will never play GTA6. Never even played 5 once. Same here, the studio changed and so did their sense of humor. I'm not sure about that. GTA 5 still has plenty of like these edgy jokes. This I think the soul kind of for the game is still there. Just looks way more different for sure. I liked the campaign of GTA 5. You know who doesn't like the campaign of us gamers doing it this way? But I think it's just marketing in this article. Pirated ROMs hurt small indie teams. Legendary Japanese dev asks gamer to please support us through official channels after a hacked ROM of new 16-bit shooter appears following Steam release. Earthyon, a new 16-bit shmup, launched on Steam last week to no shortage of praise from retro fanatics. This is a genuine Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive if you prefer, game developed to run on retro hardware, and the Steam version is essentially an emulator with an encrypted ROM file packaged in. The ROM file has now made it to the internet at large, but the devs are begging players to support the official release. A hacked ROM of Earthyon is being circulating online, according to a tweet from Yuzo Koshiro, legendary Street of Rage composer and game director on Earthyon. Some people may think it's official, but it's not. The official version is available only on Steam for now. The MG Gen version will launch next year as a cartridge only. No downloadable ROM is planned. Please support us through official channels. It's not hard to distribute a 16-bit ROM at this stage of the internet, but the devs at Ancient did make some anti-piracy efforts. We actually did encrypt the ROM in the Steam version, but unfortunately it was cracked, Koshiro explains. We could try different methods, but in the end it's always a game of cat and mouse. Yeah, it is. And why you need to encrypt the ROM that badly, I don't know. But also it sounds like you are just doing some marketing here. I tried to find the ROM today, just in a quick search on my usual websites for stuff like that. Haven't seen it yet, so the circling is not that big. I think you're making a little bit too much of a fuss here, too much of a hype up. Like our game is so much liked that even pirates are getting it left, right, and center, stealing it from us. I don't think it's out there yet that you should be concerned. That's my point, I guess. The proper cartridge version of Earthyon is due to launch sometime next year via limited run games. Unlike a modern digital release, a Genesis cartridge can't be updated after release, which is why the old school version is coming so much later than this digital release. We want to make sure it's the best shape in the best shape possible, Koshiro says to a follow-up tweet. Still, that wait has given eager Sega fanatics even more reason to look for a raw Earthyon ROM, which would allow them to play using a flash card on original hardware or an FPGA device. Given the ready availability of Genesis ROMs on the internet, some fans might not think twice about pirating even on a brand new release like this. Koshiro alludes to certain arguments with external partners preventing the studio from simply releasing the ROM itself, even a paid version to fans. I mean, now you could do it if it's really out there already, a cracked version of the ROM, or a decrypt, to be more precise in the wording. Why don't you just release it? Just a paid version. Obviously, if fans are out there, if the game is really that good, people are gonna pay you 10, 15 bucks for the ROM and put it on their flash cartridge there, you know. Why being such a stupid moron? I think you're playing us a little bit here with trying to make a fuss, trying to make headlines, which you succeeded, obviously, at least if that was the case. We're sincerely grateful to everyone supporting Earthyon through official means, Koshiro says. Pirated ROMs hurt small indie teams like ours. We've poured our hearts into the games. and want people to enjoy it as intended. Your support makes a real difference. As intended, yeah. What do you mean as intended? We want people to enjoy it only when it's encrypted, kind of. That's a stupid fucking saying. I don't know why you would phrase it this way, but yeah. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, the game itself, I watched a little trailer for the game here. It looks fine. It looks perfectly like a very well-made shooter. Shoot 'em up for Genesis. Other than that, why, man? Why? Why are you being such a pussy in that sense? Oh, so there are signs that they are going woke. They will just do slowly, so they don't hurt the launch of 6. Yeah, we don't know that. I assumed that too. We don't know that yet, but given what I have seen from the trailer so far, boss lady, boss gangster lady, but also we have this as a couple dynamic, right? She gets out of the prison, of the jail, whatever, meets her boyfriend again, and they're gonna go just straight to criminal efforts right away. Might be woke. She might be like the main attraction and fucking it everything up. I don't know. I don't care too much though. And if it's woke and if people still love it and can play like how they want, whatever. Go make money with it. And the trilogy remaster had a lot of stuff removed from it. I mean, the trilogy, the remaster was like the definitive edition. You mean, I guess, was like a slop port from mobile, which is crazy to think of. They also removed the violent gang and tranny and drag queens that used to be in the game. Yeah, because drag queens are never violent, man. I support guys like User, but I do not like our LRG or bigger studio that delivered late and faulty titles to consumers. You can find it on IGG Games. I just downloaded it yesterday. IGG Games. I don't know what it is. I mean, I found a version, but it was not like a ROM-only version. It was supposedly a Steam cracked version from a site that looked very dubious. So I'm not gonna touch that. At least not on my main system, let's put it that way. The days when you could call customer service for a business and speak to a person, one that understands and speak English. I'd settle for the Indian call center at this point. I don't care if they can't speak like better English than me, Neuro. How about just give me some contact, just some ways to contact those assholes. I literally can't. If you search for emails, you get, I think, like help@epicgames.com. You get this email over and over. I wrote that email. It is included in a Google email group, and it gives you just an error back, calling like, yeah, you're not part of this group. You're not allowed to, which is one of the most strangest reply I ever got. But it is what it is. I'd always get asked that at my old call center job, they thought it was an Indian call center. I hated waiting nearly 2 years for LGR to deliver the Samurai Showdown collection. I will never order from them again. I don't blame you for stuff like that. And Depends Games breaks down the warning signs on GTA 5 and 6. And Depends Games. Lol. Before I go to the rest of the comments, connected kind of to this is the next news, which is very, very the opposite side, very contrary to the begging. Oh, please don't touch the ROMs. Give us your money on Steam. Fuck off. Peak developers would rather you pirate its games than play Roblox microtransaction riddled rip-off slop. The team behind indie hit Peak would rather its community pirate its own game than play microtransaction-riddled ripoff that has appeared on Roblox. The Roblox ripoff in question is Cliff, a release that describes itself as a challenging climbing game where even the smallest mistake can be your downfall. So far, so Peak. According to the blurb, Cliff players will find themselves trapped on a mysterious island, and the only way to escape from said island is to reach the top of the towering cliff. Do you have the skill and courage to make it to the summit? Cliff asks. The creator of Pew Studio does credit Peak as Cliff's inspiration, but this seems to be veering much closer towards imitation territory. Not only does Roblox Cliff sound pretty much identical to Peak, but its artwork is also alarmingly similar. You can check out here. That's the Cliff, that's the ripoff, that's the version on Roblox somebody made. And this is the original, the Peak. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't know anything about the game, I guess you see the similarities. Like the backpacks, you know, they have. Like the little hats, you know, and even like the mountain is very much on the same spot here. Very slop, very slop, very lazy. Then we get to the gameplay itself. I've just watched some Cliff videos on YouTube, and again we are well into blatant copying. Both games have an airport as its lobby area. Both games have first-person views for climbing. Both games have a stamina bar that works in exact same way. To quote our own video viz Alex Attenborough, who I have been chatting with as I write this story up, if you showed someone this Cliff and Peak, they would think they are the same game. And yes, you see here, they are the same fucking game. This is Cliff, this is Peak. Green health bar or stamina bar, whatever that is. The 3 buttons are, oh, they are not on the side here, they are more centered. The art style the same, it's an airport as the lobby. You could have at least changed that to make it more plausible, which is maybe a bus station. It's just lazy. Unsurprisingly, the Peak team isn't flattered by the arrival of Cliff and has asked its players not to even entertain the Roblox ripoff, branding it microtransaction-riddled slop. Writing on social media X, the Peak team said it would frankly rather people pirate our game than even touch Cliff. Which is wild, like you are being the developer of a game and you say, small indie, not like this guy who says like, please don't touch our stuff if you get it anywhere else. Those guys are like, we'd rather you just pirate our shit than play that garbage ripoff there. Kind of wild statement. That doesn't mean they are enjoying if you pirate their stuff. Of course they want you to buy the game, but it's a good statement overall, right? Now, to be fair, there are many titles which have appeared on Roblox over the years that have been inspired by other that came before. The platform holds a plethora of horror games which clearly take a lot of their ideas from the likes of Five Nights at Freddy's or similar. However, in the case of Cliff, it really does seem like the creator has lifted everything from Peak and ported it onto the platform, adding none of its own ideas or originality. Eurogamer has asked the developers behind Peak for further comment on Cliff and reactions to its presence on Roblox. So far they haven't gotten any reply yet. So what do you think about such a developer and publisher who says like, yeah, better you pirate our shit than play that stupid ripoff that even asks you for additional money? Microtransaction bullcrap. The Japanese have a very tiny wieners, just like you, Cheddar. So you're very familiar with tiny wieners. Like I said, it was very recent. They started removing and editing the game, removing content, not the game itself. We got no more comments. Just checking if we are still on Rumble. We are still on Rumble. That's good. Yesterday I had a bad start. Yeah, but there we have it. Time-wise, we are okay. Not a lot of news. Went a little bit deeper on those few articles I had, like reading most of it. That was it. TAGN, the Angry Game News, every day, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on this channel. Switzerland Play It, on Rumble, of course, on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I talk about news of video games hardware, PC hardware, whatever. And of course, sometimes movies and TV show stuff. Anything else in the chat? No? Good. Then we are done. I hope you enjoyed what you heard or disagreed with what you heard. Not with me. If you disagree with me, down in the video description, there are the links for contacting me however you want. And all the articles are there. And you can even just use the comment section on this video itself. I mean, I guess not really on Kick and Twitch, but at least on YouTube and Rumble, I read all those comments. I read yours, for example. Ouch, my junk. Combat Pilot releasing later this year. If it's worthy for news, yes. I'm not just gonna comment like general releases. That's lame. I would be just 2 hours here just telling you about releases every day. It's just not super funny. If it's not like something really special, that is. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your morning, evening, wherever you are. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.